What's going on, guys? Nate the Great Peterman coming at you. Just wanted to welcome you guys to the first ever episode of the Roots of Success podcast. I am your host, Nate the Great Peterman, and I must say I appreciate you guys. I really do. I appreciate you guys tuning into this. This is something I don't take lightly, and it's something I've wanted to basically get out there. I've wanted to release my own podcast now for the past couple years, but I just never executed, right? And what's that called? Procrastination. And I made the decision this year, 2018, that Nate, you're gonna do it. Okay. I don't care what you say. We're not putting it off anymore. We're gonna go all in, and I'm doing it. So real quick, I just sort of want to dive deep. For those of you who don't know who I am, maybe I've made 50 episodes or maybe over 100 episodes already, and this is the first one you're coming to, right? Maybe we're in 2019 or 2020 or whatever year we're in, and you're coming to the very first episode. Welcome. Okay, my name is Nate Peterman. Real name is Nathan Peterman. Real quick about me, for some of you that know me or you think you might know me, but there's some extra things that you don't know. I'm 21 years old, from a small town called Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Growing up, I didn't grow up a very tough life. It was definitely a lifestyle that, it was middle class, blessed to say the least, with an amazing family. Really big into sports, especially soccer. I did soccer for about 14 years of my life, and that was definitely one of my biggest passions, And, I was never really big. I was never the big guy that was into like school. I didn't really care for school. I'm terrible with numbers, and really I'd say, at the age of 16 was a defining moment in my life, because, that was really the moment where things changed. And what I mean by change is I went through something when you think about it, most childs and children, they go through, and that was, my parents got divorced. And unfortunately, it's very common nowadays. And I struggled with it back then. I was definitely at one of my lowest times. And instead of going to, food, instead of going to drinking, instead of going to, doing drugs, what did I go to? I went to motivation. And to some of you guys, you might laugh at that, like, oh, come on, Nate, like, motivation, is that really a thing? And it really is. It really is a thing. I've been into the whole motivation realm since I was really, 16 years old. And, basically with all that being said, I went onto YouTube, looked up motivational videos, because I was low. I didn't know what to do. There was times when I was in my room and I was just like, man, how am I going to get through this? And, long story short, I typed in a video, like motivational videos, and I popped this one up, and it was some guy like working out on the beach. I'm sure you know what I mean if you're into the motivational realm and you like to watch videos. And there was this voice. It was saying, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I was like, man, who is this guy? So I looked up who it was, and I found out his name was Eric Thomas, and he's one of the top motivational speakers in the world. He goes by Dr. Eric Thomas now. And I was like, wow, this guy is absolutely incredible. I got to find a way to get connected with him. And, I listened to his videos all throughout school. And again, long story short, I went to some of his conferences and actually got into one of his online universities. It's his only online university. It's called Breathe University. And it really helped me establish myself as a person, because there wasn't really many, 16-year-olds or even teenagers that was in there. I definitely had special access, to say the least. And I've definitely been blessed to have somebody like Eric Thomas as a mentor, young one, at the age of 16. He's really helped me sort of get to where I'm at today with the motivation, because when you're low and you don't have anywhere to go, and you have somebody like that, as well as a community like Breathe University, that helped me really just establish myself and where I, sort of am where I am today. But long story short, once again, I've had like 6 jobs, anywhere from McDonald's to, selling cars. And I was in and out of, 3 different network marketing companies. And a little bit over a year ago, my business partner and myself, Daniel Kyani, who's my business partner, we were like, hey, let's start our own company. Let's start our own marketing thing. It's a need. And of course, we identified that, and, we started our own social media marketing company, digital marketing, to be exact, called Simba Marketing, where we basically help businesses establish themselves on social media online presence, gaining leads and things like that, sales, and just credibility in general for like brands, gaining more awareness through that, and definitely been blessed to say the least, and very, very grateful to be 21 years old and to actually own a company. And that's something that's very, you don't see that. It's not common. I hear it all the time. Like, wow, man, you have it so, made at 21. And, I sort of chuckle a little bit because it's not easy. The entrepreneurial journey isn't easy, and it's quite the roller coaster. But I'm sure you guys will find out soon enough throughout these episodes. The more that way I get into it, I sort of just want to do a brief intro of who I am starting out. And really, I'm sure you might be thinking like, okay, what's the point of this, Nate? The Roots of Success podcast. Like, what's the point of it, right? Well, what's the name? What's the why? Why are you doing your own podcast? Because there's thousands of other podcasts that I could listen to, but why do I want to dedicate my time into listening to you? So, guys, really just to address that question, I love connecting with people on a very, very personal level. It's honestly one of my gifts. I've been doing it ever since I was like 15, 16 years old. Whenever I first had my job at McDonald's. Matter of fact, I used to go out whenever I was off work and talk to some of my, workers that I worked with. And really, I mean, we talked about like life, relationships, how to get through school and things like that. And I was doing that since I was 16 years old, giving them the hype, giving them the motivation, doing whatever it would take. Like I was doing that at a young age, and I truly identified like, wow, I'm really great at not just connecting with people, but I mean connecting with people on a very deep level. And guys, I mean where I first meet somebody and they tell me things they never tell anybody else. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm not saying that to be very arrogant or anything like that, because I'm humble, right? I identified what I'm really great at. And that's something even for yourself. You got to identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses. That's so crucial. And I just love going deep. I love finding what it is that, clicks with people. And that's what makes me super passionate. And that's really why I'm doing this podcast. And really behind the name, like the Roots of Success, guys, I want you to imagine right now, look outside, or you're just, in your head, you have a tree, or you have a small tree. Let's say you just plant a small tree, right? They have small roots, right? It's like a baby, right? Now look at us. We all started out, at a day old, a couple days old, a month old, and then we got to 5 years old, 10 years old. Some of us are 20, 50, 90 years old, okay? We have a long life, right? I mean, it sometimes goes short, but we all have roots, okay? We all have roots, and the reason behind the Roots of Success is because everybody has roots, but not everybody has the most successful roots. We all have the ability to be successful, but with that being said, it all depends on what it is that we're trying to do with our lives and, mindset. You have a sharp mindset. You gotta have that, go-getter mentality, that beast mode mentality. That right there is what the Roots of Success is going to be about. I'm going to be interviewing some people, whether they're real estate agents, entrepreneurs, business owners, athletes, actresses, actors, models, you name it. Anybody that has that mentality, that has the roots. Okay, we all have the roots, but it has the roots of success. I'm going to be bringing on people on here that are, making it big time, or I'm going to be bringing on people that are even in college, but that have that mentality of what it takes to be successful. And I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys that are going to be tuning in and things like that to really just take away, right? Because my ultimate goal is I want to give you guys value. I want to give you guys things to take away with. That way you can apply it to your daily life. And that's really it, guys. That's the ultimate goal. That's the why behind this podcast. I love, of course, like giving value. I love giving, motivation. But if I can do that and I have somebody else to do it with, meaning guests that have seen it and have, pretty much lived somewhat of a successful life, right? Some people, they define success as having a nice car, having a nice house, maybe having a really nice, good paying job, owning a business. Success to everybody is different. Everybody thinks of success a different way. Personally, my way of, thinking of somebody that's successful is somebody that's confident, somebody that, knows who they are and they're satisfied with where they're at. Not satisfied, with where they're at, but they're trying to keep striving to the next level. That's success for me, right? So we all have a different version of success. And that's my ultimate goal, is to just interview people on this podcast to show you guys what it takes to get to that level, or maybe not that level, maybe that mentality, right? Because a lot of us, we might like to work out in the gym, but we don't work out that brain. You feel me? But anyways, in terms of where to listen to, this is going to be getting released on Facebook, of course, YouTube, Instagram, an app called Anchor, and SoundCloud. So with Anchor and SoundCloud, let's say you don't have enough time in the day to like watch a video, but you're driving to work and you're in your car, you can actually download SoundCloud, as I'm sure most of you are aware of. But Anchor, that's sort of a new app. It's been out for a couple years, I believe. You can actually listen on the go in your car. You got sort of, you're driving down the road. You got like a school in your car, right? You're listening to things, and that's definitely something I don't take for granted. I appreciate every single one of you guys, again, that will listen to the Roots of Success podcast, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this whole podcast in general. It's something I've been wanting to get out there, and I'm finally doing it. So you guys know where to listen to now. Again, it's going to be in audio. It's going to be in video version. And if you have questions, if you have anything you want to run by me, or like, Nate, I think it'd be great if you could do this, reach out to me. Instagram and Facebook. My username is Nate the Great Peterman. And then on Snapchat and Twitter, it is Nate and then TG Peterman. And then on YouTube, if you look me up, just look up Nate the Great Peterman, you'll find me. And again, I appreciate you guys that subscribe and are rocking with me. If you're watching me, maybe a year or a couple years from now and I'm well established, hey, I appreciate you. I don't take it lightly, right? Wherever I'm at in my life by then. And I know it's going to be a place where, I'm definitely, it was a journey for me to get where I'm at, to say the least. And again, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to be doing contests and giveaways as well. So stay tuned for that. And of course, it's a journey. Again, it is a journey. Where I'm at right now, the podcast, I'm sure, will change. Maybe I get new cover art. Maybe I have an intro, right? Whatever it is, just know that it's going to be, growing roots, if that makes sense. But again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the first ever episode of the Roots to Success podcast. Stay tuned for episode 2. That may be an episode revolving around branding and social media, as that's something I'm passionate about. And then episode 3, I'm going to have my first ever guest on the show. So definitely stay tuned to that. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you, and stay tuned for episode 2 of the Roots of Success podcast. Bye for now.